Guys, we are live, special edition. We are still together, so we just figured, hey, let's just do another quick little video for Monday.
Yeah, let's go. This is actually going to be kind of an interesting one, kind of a special live show that we're doing here after Monday Night Football. Basically, how do we fix the Chargers? I mean,
yeah, where do we start is really the real question at this point, folks. But bottom line, at the end of the day, it is what it is. The Chargers are where they're at, and like needs to be fixed. So, guys, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
I'm Dale Henley. You watching the Boat Bros podcast? Let's do it! Fire Staley.
That's right, Fire Staley. All right, guys. Well, so there's a lot to discuss. I know it's interesting. We're just going to go through the succession of where do we start at this point, right? So I think we should start with the Spanos family, right? Bottom line, the Spanos family. There you go. Okay, here we go. So first conversation. And it sucks because, you know, the Spanos is, boy, hey, look, this was a great owner. Kids have definitely made a bit of a debacle of the Chargers, in my opinion, to some degree. But, you know, again, it's one of those situations where, you know, it's frustrating, you know, but again, you know, throw your thoughts out on the Spanos family. Again, we're going to go Spanos, Telesco, Staley, position coaches, and then maybe talk players. We'll go from there. So, yeah, interesting conversation. Shirley, good to see you here. To be the reason the season's done. Mathematically, there's still a chance.
There's still a chance.
Yeah, we can still have a conversation that way, but I kind of doubt
small chance.
100%.
Yeah. I think it's like 11% chance that you could make the playoffs at this point. So, I mean, either way, I mean, I know we got a subject matter in front of us and we could talk more about that another time, but
sure. But again, you know, Spanos family, look, bottom line, these guys were amazing. I think they were excellent owners. People were very respectful of them. And Dean has moved it on to his kids. And I don't know, it's kind of turned into a little bit of a weird situation, right? You know, and I kind of feel like there's a lot going on there as an organization. Plus, was it B who's trying to sell the team?
Dia Spanos is trying to sell her shares. So basically the Chargers family or the Spanos family, Chargers family, Spanos family. I mean, it would be nice the Chargers family as in us, the fans,
yes.
own them, but the thing is, though, the Spanos own 96% of this team. 96%.
That's a high percentage, guys.
That is massive.
I'm not great at math, but that usually means they.
Do you have majority? Do you have majority? Yes, you do. Yeah, quite a bit of majority. So there's not other influence at all. And basically, when Alex and Faye passed away, they got basically all this chunk given to them. And you know, it's really John and you know, Dean for the most part, pretty much just running it at this point. And you know, we were just chatting before the show, and we were kind of thinking, you know, there's people that just get inheritance and fall into inheritance a little bit. Obviously they had a little bit involved with this, but you know, Alex Spanos basically built this thing.
Alex Spanos did it all,
and you know, it goes from their construction company in Northern California to basically owning the Chargers. The Chargers is their baby.
It is their baby.
And it has become a family business at this point. But they inherited it after Alex was running it, basically. And so,
Alex was awesome.
And Alex was great. And
very respected. Yes. 100%.
And now you have basically a family members and the siblings trying to run this thing. Do they really even know how to run a business? Do they really know how to run a football team at this point? And this is not like, we're not going to beat them up. We're just kind of just saying like, this is what we're just saying about this family. You know, when a kid comes in and has everything given to them, then all of a sudden that they have to be able to figure out how to run a business, it becomes potentially a disastrous situation. They don't know what they're doing possibly. And for the most part, you kind of look at it as it's kind of that way right now.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you look at the last 10 years specifically in head coaches, it hasn't gone well. Right. So,
yeah, again, so, but to your point, I think what you're getting at is that it's a family business and it's a dysfunctional family. At least they don't seem to care or have any real desire to win a championship.
Right.
That's the frustration as a fan base, in my opinion, right? And so, oh, it's great. We're just getting paid. It's a job. It's what we do, and this is my job. And I'm like, whatever at it, and they have their money. But that sucks, right? That sucks for us as a fan. We want to see them, do more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bert, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you also at the game as well.
Yeah,
it was fun being there.
Yeah.
Looks like you made it home safely.
Glad you made it home safe. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and again, this whole firing Marty still just frustrates me to death. It's just mind-blowingly horrible. But again, these are really the owners right here, right? And bottom line, guys, it's like, okay, do they care?
Yep.
It's I guess that's the question, right? Now, I will say this. The one thing I will say about Brandon Staley and what he's done with the team, they finally started spending money, right? This team did not spend money. In LA, you have to spend money. You're not going to be relevant.
Yep.
Everyone's going to just treat you as some sort of redheaded stepchild.
Yeah.
So again, you have to. So I think Brandon Staley convinced them to do that, and they did it, and it didn't work out. Now, my concern now is, okay, let's say Staley is let go, hypothetically, because still we don't even know. Like, it almost feels like, anyways, we talk more about that later, but we are going to get into that. But what if the next coach comes in and like, hey man, we spent all this money and it was a bust.
Yeah.
And now they're going to be super gun shy of bringing anybody in and spending money at all. Right. And so that's where I get nervous as an organization. So again, stuff. Good to see it, Michael, again.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And there was an interesting thing in the whole subject of this whole entire video is how do we get better as a team completely throughout. And bottom line, it starts with caring about the fans.
Right.
And,
care about the fans.
Care about the fans. And we're a small base. And I feel very strongly there's a much bigger base that could be from San Diego. Instead of completely abandoning them, let's go after them a little bit. Let's go and give them a little bit of love. Like, let's go out there and show that they care. A lot of these San Diego-based fans don't like this team because of Spanos and what he did.
Yeah.
And so really that's one thing is care about the fans and care about what we think at some point. And, obviously there's a lot that they've been investing in players and everything recently. It's good to be able to see that we were getting these star-based type players and everything like that. But you know what? Really, it comes and starts from obviously the ownership deciding to be able to make splash plays, make splash moves, get good GMs, good head coaches, make this team become a not necessarily a laughing stock, but at the same side, you're kind of close to that point. I mean, we're only one game behind now, the Bears.
Yep. Can you even believe that, guys?
I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
It's like this season has been the biggest kick in the dick I've ever expected.
Awful.
It's just unbelievable. And it's like, how could it have gone this bad?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Like,
so bad.
We're in an abusive relationship, guys.
Yeah, we really are.
Like, seriously, I keep coming. I got a black eye. Oh, I fell down the stairs. Because you're in an abusive relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, all right.
But guys, there's a new training facility right now. I mean, it looks amazing. I mean,
phenomenal.
So how much they spent on that?
Half
guys?
of $500 million.
Okay, so again, we talked about the Spanos, so they are finally spending money. That's great.
I can't read it anymore.
But it's kind of like you got to go all in, dude.
Yeah.
Bottom line, you got to go all in at this point. You need to go out and get a coach that ain't going to pussyfoot around, right? And someone that's going to make some wins happen, right?
Yep.
And honestly, I've even heard that it could be more than that, right? Because what did the
well, I mean, you go
Denver
to,
was
Denver
$7
was
$7
billion, maybe 8 billion. Same thing for the Washington. It was around 6 billion.
Yes.
It could be much more amount of money. It could be very much sold at a much higher level. Now, once again, going back on the Spanoses, and Dia Spanos basically asking to sell off her shares
20%.
Let's say it's 20%. I believe a little bit over that. She get 1.5 billion, 2 billion possibly off of that. Like, I don't know.
Can we get a GoFundMe together for that?
Can the fans put together that much billion to say, Dia, check it out. We got you.
Check it out.
We got you. How sick would that be, dude?
Bolt Bros, the president of the fund.
The spokespersons. Let's go.
Spokespersons.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a good point, Bert, because I do think, Look, I think something's got to happen. Look, in LA, you have to make things happen.
You got
know,
to.
You just have to, like, because you're going to become irrelevant, and you're just
Mhm.
going to be, the jock sweat of the sports
Yep.
the sports world. Jock sweat. That didn't really make sense.
Jock sweat, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Exactly. You get what I'm saying. Yes, and we do Fan Fest, right? Actually, we for training
Well,
facilities.
training camp type.
Training
stuff.
camp.
Training camp. I guess
It's awesome too, by the way. Yep.
Yeah.
Very fun. Very
Right.
fun.
And we're going to
that
talk
will
more
be at
about
the
all this
new
stuff.
facility next year
Yeah,
too.
and this is the new facility, guys. It'll be next year. Again, we're showing the new facility because bottom line, guys, this might be a great time for us to start having a conversation around, hey, let's clean house.
Yeah.
Brush it. Yeah, this is brushing. I don't know why I was doing this. That was a really.
What are we?
I was like doing a shake weight.
Weight over
Shake
here.
weight. Why did I do that? It's late. I don't know what's happening to this. But you get my point, guys. Like it's time to clean house.
Yeah. There you go. I don't know.
More like,
It
okay,
didn't
that's
any
fine. You
better.
get
I don't know.
You get what I'm saying.
It's more like this. It helps with the sound effects.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
But these contract conversations need to happen at some point too. So, there's a lot there. There's a lot there. Go ahead.
I mean, the one thing that I'm going to say, and going back to what the ownership's doing, is care about the fans and care about what we would like to be able to see.
Yep.
And I will probably say at this point, I think we're kind of tired of seeing. I mean, maybe it's my opinion, but at the same side, I'm going to say, because I feel like we all kind of have different ideas. We need to find somebody who's done the job and succeeded at the job and pay a head coach to do a great job for this team.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, like, let's get this guy who's going to be this hot shot dude for 1 or 2 years, and all of a sudden he's this hot name and first time rookie head coach. And guess what? We're going to get rookie head coach mistakes. We're going to make a lot of problems. Right. We're going to have the same routine 3 to 4 years down the road.
Yep. I
want to see a guy that just goes out there and you pay him a good sum of money and make things happen. Marty Schottenheimer, perfect example. I don't think we paid him crazy money, but obviously money was different back then. Let's say it was $4 million, which is equivalent to like $8 million now.
Yep.
They invested, and we had some of the best years under Marty Schottenheimer. Go to Norv Turner after that. You paid him, I think, $3 million-ish. It was probably equivalent to $6 million.
Yeah.
We got to the AFC Championship game. You find a head coach that's going to do a good job to be able to get the talent to play at their level. We've spent a lot of money on players that have underperformed.
Yeah.
Once again, we are 1 game behind record-wise from the Bears. 1 game, and we have way too much talent for that. So I'm basically saying for the ownership, listen to the fans. You better go out there and get the engine, that big old V8, V10 based engine, whatnot, that gets this team going in the right direction.
Yep.
You need that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We need that as fans.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I think a new facility is a good opportunity for us to just make a clean slate.
Big time.
And again, nuts to butts. Good conversation here. Yeah. We need to start from start to top to down to nuts to butts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To ass to tails.
Yeah.
Wait, did that make sense? You get what I'm saying.
I don't know.
I think at the same time, though,
we got the Charter Stockholm syndrome.
Literally, what James is saying though is that your only option is Bill Belichick, though, because he's the only one that's really available potentially. That is going to
Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn probably could.
Yeah, but he got to the big game and he did exactly what we did against the Jaguars.
But was that Kyle Shanahan? You know, because he really didn't decide to run the ball and try to run the clock down. He was like, I'm going to keep throwing the ball and stopping the clock and allow the Patriots find their way back. That's where I'm looking at. If you go Dan Quinn, he did get there. Whatnot. He only had 4 years of that. Didn't have the best defenses, which is one of our problems for a few amount of the years as a head coach. But you go down to Jim Harbaugh. Once again, if he does win a national championship, he might stick around. Or if he's going to get a year of suspension next year, why would he stick around?
Yeah,
like kind of thing. So it's a lot to talk about that. But bottom line, we can't change ownership. That's nothing we can do. So it's like you almost have to just admit what you have right now.
So again, let's not get too off track. We already are off track, which we always tend to be. But
whatever.
But my point is, we are showing the facility. Good time to start another conversation.
Fresh start.
Yeah. So again, where does it start? Probably this man right here. I have always defended him. Probably a little,
Defend him no mo.
Well, I mean, look, he's been here 10 years. 10
Yeah.
years, guys. 10 years. I'm sorry, man. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
10 years, guys. 10.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, you call him the water cooler guy?
Yeah, the water
Yeah,
cooler guy.
He's a water cooler guy.
I mean, he's best buds with John Spanos, which is like, when you're brown nosing with the boss, you generally get favored, right?
But think about this. What did we post today on our channel? There was something we posted that I thought was pretty good. Let me go find it real quick.
You want to know what I call Tom Telesco?
Yeah,
a screen door on a submarine.
A screen. Well, okay, that's tough. Yeah, but look at. Oh, this is pretty good too. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Chargers 2023 cap hits per Sport Track that did not suit up against who did we play?
Oh my
gosh,
who did we play last night? Now I can't
the Ravens.
The Ravens. Yeah. Goodness gracious! It's past.
I'm already blocking it out of my memory.
We are. Yeah. But think about this: we got Bosa, $15.8 million. Williams, $13.6 million. Lindsley, probably going to retire, $13 million.
Yep.
Jackson, $11 million. An $83 million problem. Davis, that's Mike Davis, $9.4 million, guys. And those are people that didn't suit up.
Yeah.
That is a waste of money.
Or not even on the team.
See, to me, those numbers are 100% on Tom Telesco.
Right.
Yeah.
See, but that's not. But you could also maybe argue a little bit on Brandon Staley because he wanted to get clearly J.C. Jackson, right? So, it's a lot.
Yep. Well, and the thing about it is, and I think somebody even wrote on there and called him Coupon Tom kind of thing, or Tommy T or whatnot. Like the thing is though with his buddy with John Spanos.
Yeah.
It's kind of a hard thing. But at the same side, like when you got the operations VP of operations, essentially, and he's your buddy. Yeah, I get it. You want to keep your buddy around, but at the same side, you got to make a business decision.
Yep.
This is going to be a big business decision for the Spanoses and specifically John Spanos to make a choice. Do you want to move on from Tom Telesco? At this point, your sample size of 11 years, he's gotten to the playoffs 3 times.
Yep.
I mean,
and blown through a ton of head coaches.
Over 100 win-loss or one-score base type games. I mean, we're not blowing teams out by any means. We're just kind of getting by.
Yeah, the other conversation there is that bottom line, he wanted Brian Daboll. So he was a big fan of Brian Daboll. Yeah. He came in, did an interview well, apparently, and then Brandon Staley gets hired, and it's been a disaster.
Yeah.
So you could maybe give that argument that that's not who he really wanted. But at some point, dude, guys, the proof's in the pudding, dude. Like, these decisions have just been horrible. By the way, this is a good thought. Personally, I'm in favor of trading Derwin. If we can get a second-round pick, yes, I would take that in a heartbeat.
100%.
Well, and they would
Derwin has sucked
if they absorb contracts too and everything like that too.
Take some money away from us.
That would be great.
To me, Bosa, William, Allen. No, not Allen. Bosa, Williams, Derwin need to go.
Yeah.
And then Eckler needs to be traded. I actually think, or not traded, just let go. Yeah. And then, honestly, you got one more year with Kendricks. If you could trade away Kendricks and get somebody, I think that'd be great.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, and with Tommy T and calling him Coupon Tom, the whole thing about it is we have a GM who's very much a cautious GM, prioritizes his picks, which if we look at the recent picks, like where's Isaiah Spiller? What happened to Trey McKinney? Like, there's a lot of these picks, even to say the Dan Feeney, Forrest Lamp situation. You went heavy on the O-line. Both of them didn't even work out at all. Dan Feeney plays for the Bears now. Like, there's a lot of things that the draft strategy is not even working out very well either. But what I hey, when there's a mistake, I'm going to get rid of it. If there's basically a opportunity to go get a player that we really need to be able to elevate our team, we go get them. Is it just too late at this time?
Yeah.
Is it too late for this? So basically what I'm saying is that we need a guy who's a hustler that's willing to take risks. And, that's something that, once again, we're going to put that on the Spanoses. Find that guy that will be that GM to really go after players when we need them and have a better eye for talent.
Yep. It's pretty funny. Yeah, we're Will Smith, Jada. I can't quit you. Also Brokeback Mountain, I guess. It's ridiculous, dude. I mean, it's stupid. Yeah, they're going to shoot. Well, by the way, technically, we're not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs at this point just yet.
Still not yet. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, 9-8 could make a playoffs, but pretty much got to win everything at this point. And I don't think that's very realistic.
Yeah.
And then QJ has been a disaster. And again, you know what? There's another piece on this too. I think really Tom Telesco is the recruiting group as well. That's another part of the conversation. I would think that probably needs to be reevaluated. Clearly, I think they've kept a lot of the people that's been there. I'm drawing a blank on the head recruiter's name. Anyways, my point is that needs to be the scouting team.
Scouting team.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just drawing a blank on their name right now. Haven't seen anything positive from QJ. Look, I think he'll be fine, but again, he's got to figure things out. And again, I am sick and tired of these guys talking about it. But you know what? That's where the clicks are coming from.
Yeah.
Right. If you're ESPN or whatever, Acho is clearly getting a ton of views off of all of this narrative.
100%.
Bagging on Herbert, right? Herbert is the most talked about quarterback in the NFL right now. But I think a lot of just general football fans want to see him do well in the in the NFL. And then we got Brandon Staley here. Stubborn as hell, dude. Stubborn as hell.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the whole thing about Brandon Staley. I mean, I feel like the thing is, though, last 2 years we've just gotten by, and we just did just enough to be able to have that record. And I mean, we got to stop being that just getting by kind of guy. We need to be that guy that can out coach the good teams.
Yep.
And his record is not good. If a video that I did some weeks back, I went over Brandon Staley's win-loss record of between good and bad teams. And I think at that time it was 11-17 against winning-based teams. So he's now probably at 11 and 20 now against good teams.
Yep.
It's not good. It's not good. And you know what? Look, if you find a way to creep into the playoffs, you're going to play a good team. And if you can't beat them in the regular season, what makes you think that you're going to be able to go on a 3-game win streak and beat 3 good teams in a row, or 4 games, albeit either which way? We need a guy that could out coach other teams, because right now we're getting out coached by the experienced coaches.
Oh yeah.
This is good.
Which actually really makes me really fearful for the Patriots game, because Bill Belichick has always had our number.
Always. And so that, ironically, though, Anthony Lynn got let go after he got smoked by the Patriots in his last year in 2020.
Yep.
That he basically was told that's the end, and you're just going to coach to the end of the year kind of thing.
Yeah, and Chris, again, Mike Williams is just an injury bug. It's just like Joey Bosa. What's the point? He's getting paid so much money.
Yep.
He's done, dude. I mean, at the end, dude, the guy every year is injured, and so it's $30 million is a lot of money. That's a lot of money, guys. That's a lot. So, and again, he is licking doorknobs. Again, do I think that I would like to keep Williams? Yes.
Yeah.
But you need people on the field, right?
Yeah.
And I get the concept of bigger bodies, but oh my God, that's a big body that always is injured.
Yep.
Back injuries, something else. It's just horrible, So, and the Herbert hate has been ridiculous. And by the way, Brandon Staley actually called a very good game. I mean, I'm probably going to do, guys in the chat, let me know if you want me to do a video on how I think we should fix the defense. Not that it might matter here very shortly. If Brandon Staley were to be let go, obviously it didn't happen today. Partially, we thought it might happen today. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
But secondarily, the other thought was, would you like me to do a video breaking down what I think, could fix this defense a little bit?
Right.
Again, this whole defensive coordinator, dude, he had a very good, roster built over there, and he did a good job with what they have. I think now he's in charge. He picked the wrong guys. Again, he's kind of like a sports card collector. He just wanted to buy what he wanted. He went out and got cards and thought, okay, these are great, but some went up in value, some dropped, right? He went out and got J.C. Jackson. J.C. Jackson wet the bed. He got his bags, doesn't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
And all these other players, are doing the same thing. Mike Williams is a mess, all the above, right?
Well, and the whole thing, too, what he's basically saying is in 2020 that he was basically the defensive coordinator. They only got to the divisional game and then they lost.
Correct.
He didn't get to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It was the following year they went to the Super Bowl, I believe, 2021. Is that when the Rams won their Super Bowl, I think?
I think it was 2021.
2021,
like that,
So, I mean, the thing is, though, he had Aaron Donald, probably one of the best defensive tackles of our time. Could be one of the best in the in history.
Yep.
He had Jalen Ramsey too. He did have some guys that are great. I mean, not to say we don't have those guys, but we don't have a D-line based upon.
But we're not getting them to perform well.
Right.
Again, this is my biggest frustration with Brandon Staley. We played more press man. We were much more aggressive at the line.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying that all year. We should have at least been that way more this year. And he just keeps playing this off coverage garbage. And everyone who has eyes could see what's going wrong.
Hey, fans.
People aren't stupid. We understand things now, right? So we understand things now.
We understand things now.
I play a lot of Madden, so I'm kind of an expert. Anyways, fire the whole coaching staff. I kind of get that. What's up, guys? How we doing? Bolt Lightning, good to see you. Yeah, we just figured today, guys, since we're all together, let's do one last video while we're together.
More of a quick one, really.
A little quickie.
A little quickie.
Well, let's have a quickie.
A late night nooner. Yeah, exactly. David Droger Miller says, no matter what Quentin Johnson is struggling, he has to play and get experience. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And give him time. I mean, the thing is, though, we're not saying like it's a wrap on him by any means. He's actually outplayed Mike Williams from his rookie year.
Yeah, so he already has.
He already has outplayed him. But I mean, obviously Mike Williams had back issues during that year.
Yep.
But at the same side, like, give time with QJ. I mean, it's a confidence thing, I think, more or less. It's also, there's a side that going back to head coach too. It's about coaching up these players to keep them ready, regardless of whatever situation and wherever you're at on the depth chart. That's the whole thing. Like the coaching staff should have had QJ a lot more prepared, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's coaching.
Coaching.
That's 100% coaching, guys. Yep. I mean, that's my point, right? And again, I guess in my mind, the whole thought of this is, look, we're getting a new facility. The Spanos family's already spent all this money.
Yeah.
They need to be relevant as a sports organization.
Yeah.
If you're not relevant in LA, you're a nobody.
Yeah,
right.
You're just buried at that point.
You may as well be on Skid Row.
Yeah.
Smoking crack.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And it might be one of the worst seasons ever. But why is it? Because we expected more from this team.
Big time.
That's
Big
really
time.
why.
Yeah, and that's why. And it's like, what in the hell?
I mean, and us, well, Andrew and I are Padres fans, and the expectations of giving all these dudes all this money. We got this super team. They went 82-80.
Yep.
Didn't get the playoffs at all. Like it's just, you pay these guys all these money, all these talented dudes, and they just don't work. And that's kind of what it was like for the season, or what it feels like for the season. So it's a frustrating process. And I put it as like, we had this beautiful Lamborghini, just mint condition. The body of it looks fantastic. Great wheels. Looks like it's got meat under the hood.
Nice ass.
Yeah.
All the above.
And
nice rack.
And then the engine is a 4-cylinder Honda VTEC. Like, you're like, yo, like, what is going on here? I mean, we got a lot of paid dudes that are like, do they care anymore at this point? They made it. JC Jackson don't care,
Yep.
The engine ain't working. Like,
somehow we need to resuscitate Marty Schottenheimer and Don Coryell. Yeah, that would be great.
It's like a Futurama situation.
Could we do that? Anybody in chat, does anybody have a resurrection machine? That would be amazing.
How do we do that?
That'd be awesome.
I mean, there's probably some sort of cloning out there of some sort. There's probably something like that.
We did see the movie The Creator, right? We can get like an artificial intelligence.
There you go. Dude. Oh, AI coach. Let's be the AI coach.
That's right. AI coach.
Yeah. Let's go.
Could be like Get Out, whatever. You just put someone else's brain into a fresh new body.
Would AI take over head coaching jobs, dude? AI is making all the decisions, dude. How sick would that be?
I like that idea.
Wow.
Have an AI coach.
Let's go.
Boy, if we got a second and a 4th round pick for Joey Bosa, holy smokes! I'll go buy a lottery ticket after that.
There's
dude.
Teams out there like, what do you think? Like, if like the Panthers, what if they think like all these teams? Well, they don't. Panthers
got nothing.
They got no picks. So never mind.
They are broke like a joke right now.
But I mean, even to say like,
he hasn't taken it off. He took a shower.
I'm leaving this. I'm living in this thing, dude. It's ridiculous. This sweatshirt's dope. I love wearing it.
Yeah, we did a short on that today, guys. You Bosa up in the booth as well too. And they definitely should not keep Bosa over Mac again.
Yeah,
I guess the whole point of this is the time. Yes, we're technically not eliminated from the playoff discussion, but something real special needs to happen. And I'll say at this point, if we come back and win and make a playoff, the NFL's rigged.
Yeah,
The NFL's rigged. I mean, I'm sorry. We are such an
Right.
inconsistent team at this moment. How does this happen? But it starts with this guy. Like, we mean no ill will to anybody here. But look, at the end of the day, I think the general consensus, though, is there's something fundamentally wrong with the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
And it starts from the ownership.
Starts from the
Right.
top.
And I think it's a culture shock all the way down. And
Yeah.
so that needs to change. So somehow that needs to happen. And Spanos family needs to wake up and say, hey, man, we need to pay attention to the fans a little bit and do something.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to call Bosa from now on Raisin Bran Bosa, by the way.
Raisin Bran Bosa.
Raisin Bran Bosa, dude. That video cracks me up.
And who the hell likes Raisin Bran, by the
Dude,
way?
Hey, I like Raisin Bran Crunch, dude. Woo, Raisin Bran
What
Crunch.
in
is
the
legit,
hell
dude.
is that, dude?
It's
Raisin Bran.
legit.
Did you guys see Tula was doing coverage against the Ravens? Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous to me.
Yeah. I mean, well, Max got in coverage too
I
against
was
Tyreek Hill.
against
first week.
Tyreek Hill, which is
Yeah. What are you doing?
so stupid.
Like,
dude.
what are you doing? That's the thing. Like, they're schematically and everything like that. It's just not working. Last
Yep.
night against the Ravens,
A little better than nothing. Yep.
way better than we anticipated. But then again, like, you go to the team, it didn't complement each other at all. That's the thing. John Harbaugh even talked about this. He says some games you're just going to play bad on one side, and the other side needs to find a way to make it happen. And
Right.
it's making sure it's like a hand-in-hand type relationship. Good teams find ways to win even
Yeah.
in bad games that you had. And that's the whole thing. Like, the Ravens kind of had a bad game. And, at the same side, Chargers could have easily found a way to win that, but they didn't. They got outcoached.
Yep. And we got Derek Ainsley too. Like, he ain't the guy. And by the way, Flowers, yeah, I mean, hindsight's always 2020. That's who I thought we were gonna get.
Dude,
I thought we all thought we expected
like,
to get
Zay
Flowers.
Zay
Yeah,
Flowers.
He was there. Like, we were all like, oh, this is it. And nope.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Bo Babes. Hopefully you guys get better. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners went out and bought Bosa, traded for him, got him.
I would totally see that.
Again, we're gonna have to eat some of that salary cap, I would imagine. But at the end of the day, I mean, and Derwin James has been horrible, right? But so part of my thought is like, look, you can elevate, maybe, let's see what Derek Ainsley can do as a defensive play caller, right? Like, would he be good?
Yeah.
And all you want for Christmas is Brandon Staley to be gone. I kind of get the impression. If you watch, we were going to play the post-game show. I kind of got the impression after watching that is that he is going to get let go. He already knows he's going to get let go at the end of the season. He's kind of dead man walking. He's just going through the rest of the motions, That's kind of the thought.
It's like when your boss basically knows that the company's shutting down, but he's just trying to keep you motivated. Like, that's kind of really what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's tough.
And I mean, going to Derek Ainsley, like, the thing about it is that it sounds like the players really love this dude.
Yeah.
Like, and they want to play for this guy. They've always said very, very good things. Not a player is not going to badmouth any of the player or coaches by any means, but I think they honestly really like Derek Ainsley's energy. I mean, we even talked a little bit about Asante Samuel Jr. about it. And I think he just seems like he's like that dude that just really bonds well with the players.
Yep.
Now, once again, going back to Brandon Staley, he's just a player coach, in my opinion. He's not a motivator in a sense. Right. Could be the same thing for Derek Ainsley. Maybe he's just a player's coach, not a motivator. And we need a guy who really goes out there and makes things happen. Going back to Marty Schottenheimer. Marty Schottenheimer basically was a motivator.
Yeah.
He was a leader to that team. He was the general of that team. That's the whole thing. We need to have a guy that could do that. And we also need our ownership to really be a little bit more of a leader to this team too.
Yep.
Making sure you make the right choices that are going to be investing in a coaching staff that really makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you could go back. We had chances to go after Andy Reid. We had chances to go after Doug Peterson. We had chances, even going back to looking at the list of 2021 when we were interviewing people. What's his name? Mike McDaniels was on that list. I mean, you see what he's doing right now with the Dolphins. We had chances to go after these guys, and we just didn't. And we just didn't want to pay that dude's salary or whatever it was that he asked for.
Yep. So, absolute worst performance in roster history for the Chargers. And again, it's one of the best rosters we've ever seen.
Yep.
So Brandon Staley put together a great roster, but we wet the bed. And Raisin Bran, come on now. Come on, guys.
See, yeah, dude, don't knock Raisin Bran. This guy. Hey, maybe you need some bran in your life, bro.
Jeez, man, whatever,
Yeah,
bro.
you need to get some of that fiber, bro.
Man,
It keeps you going, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, why? Yeah. Hey, third round pick, dude. Look, Mike Williams is awesome, guys. Don't get me wrong. I think he's fantastic, but at some point, you got to free up some cash so you can have some money available to go do some things, right? And again, when coaching staffs get desperate, which I think this one has gotten desperate, it's kind of why they went out and got, obviously J.C. Jackson and spent all this money with Khalil Mack, and hey, we're going to bring together a good team. They did. They convinced the Spanos family, but again, it hasn't worked out. Mike Williams is going to get paid $38 million next year or something like that.
Yeah.
$38 million, guys. That's a lot of goddamn money, dude. I'm sorry, that's a lot of money. He played what, 3 games this season?
Yeah.
3 games.
Yep.
So sorry, like it ain't gonna work. So, you never know, right?
I mean, the NFL has got a lot of little things where seems like it easily could be rigged.
Yeah, you think there's anything fundamentally wrong with us continuing to support this team? Look, I just know that was my grandpa took me to a game when I was 10 years old. It is what it is, right? So, and that's fine. It's the team that we've always cheered for. But at some point, and I do there's more than anything, I would like to see more be the head coach. Then you go out and get Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
And see how that would work out. I don't know. I think that would make sense. Again, I think the other part of the conversation is continuity. For Justin Herbert specifically, right? Because that's the other part of the conversation here.
Yep.
With Justin Herbert is that the guy is constantly learning new offenses, right? And people like Mahomes have not had to deal with that. He's had, Andy Reid.
Yeah, Eric Bieniemy, Andy Reid,
That's
Matt Nagy, pretty much, but it's Andy Reid.
Yeah, I mean, and again, he's going to have to. He's going to be that point. I mean, that's why they drafted him.
Yeah,
They really drafted him for that reason, guys. I mean, let's just make that clear. Like, he's a wide receiver, but they're also like, okay, we probably got to move away from Mike Williams.
Yep.
But who knows? And again, who even knows who our head coach is going to be at that time? Who our GM is going to be at that time, right?
Yeah.
But again, Allen has been amazing. Keenan Allen's been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing is that in the weapons that he basically has, Josh Palmer, who I think will be a great fit to be able to be the 2 guy if we move on from Williams or whatnot, or whatever happens there. But the thing about it is like, and I don't know if it's the blame on like the coaching staff or blame on Herbert.
Yep.
He needs to work with all of his weapons that he possibly has. He needs to be on the same page with them. He needs to have those conversations with them. Where do you want to be able to have the ball at? Where do you feel most comfortable? What kind of passes do you need? How fast do you want me to throw the ball to you? All these variations of things. I don't know if he's that guy or if he's just waiting for people to come up to him to talk with him. I mean, Tooley talked a little bit about that. He was nervous to even talk to Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
He's still nervous to talk to Justin Herbert. Mm-hmm. He's like a little starstruck. These guys coming into the NFL are a little bit green at this point. Maybe QJ was just a little nervous to even talk to Herbert. Say, hey, man, can I get like 20 passes after practice with you or something like that?
Yeah.
Like something like that. Like do the extra to be able to make sure you're on the same page. We can't just sit there and keep leaning so heavily on, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer. If you know the history of this team, people get injured.
Yep.
And you need to be able to make sure you have continuity regardless who goes down.
Well, the weird thing is we've been pretty good on injuries. Of course, it's either you get banged up a little bit or it's like you're out for the season.
Yeah.
It's been weird. And why our wide receivers, and that's partially probably why they went with a bigger body, is we've had so many wide receivers get injured, right?
Yep.
Williams is injured, Allen was injured quite a bit last year. You're right. I do not think Staley's the right guy to develop him. And you're right. So Lindsley is a huge loss. I think that's really
loss.
I think that's really why our running game has been so horrible.
Right.
Yep.
Like almost 100%.
That's why our whole O-line is messed up, because he's leading the whole line.
Yeah, he's the middle piece to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still kind of wonder if there's really a curse. I just feel like this team needs to learn how to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
See that? And look at the Lions. Like Dan Campbell showed up, and that team has some moxie.
Yeah.
Sorry, we could go beat anybody.
Yeah.
Quit being a bunch of sissies.
Look at these little sissies.
Look at these stupid little sissies, and go out there and win, guys. Like let's. But look, why we're showing this right here is, I think if there were to be a head coaching change, this man right here, Kellen Moore, would probably be the head coach. and then but you got to keep this guy number 10 happy.
Yep.
Period. Like, and this is kind of this is also my other part of the conversation, right? Clearly Herbert is showing he's frustrated.
Yeah.
So if we don't make him happy, he could very easily say, hey guys, I want to trade.
Yeah.
That happens. Holy shit on a cracker.
Man.
Yeah.
We're in real trouble.
I think a lot of like fans would make a trade at that point.
Oh
too,
man,
though,
dude.
you know?
Like, bro, like let's blow up the freaking Spanos family. You know what I mean?
And you can't have something like that. A guy that you just paid $262 million to, a guy that basically is a franchise-based quarterback,
Yep.
a guy that you drafted to keep your guys inside in house-based type developed talent.
Yep.
You can't do that. And you can't expect the next quarterback you get is going to be a franchise quarterback. You can't allow something like that to happen.
Yep.
And I mean, the thing about it is the more I kind of feel a little bit about Justin Herbert, he's less vocal as a guy, and more than I would actually like him to be a little bit more vocal. But I don't want him to get frustrated enough to where he's saying, hey, I'm vocal to get out of here.
Yeah.
Get me out of here now.
Yeah. My other thought too is this, we need to, I personally think we need to start over. Now, I guess the question is do the Chargers do it now or do they do it later? I think they should do it now, at least see what Kellen Moore can do. The only worry I have there is what if he does a good job and someone else becomes available and then we just keep Kellen Moore as the head coach and he's not the guy 2 years down the road. But again, you also have the conversation of, okay, well, you were the interim head coach. We'll bring you down to whatever. We're just going to interview now. And then we're going to bring in Dan Quinn. Hey, Kellen, would you be okay just being the offensive coordinator now again? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is where ego starts, coming into play.
Right.
So maybe then he would just become the assistant head.
Sure.
Here's my point, right? This is what the Spanos family is thinking about, right? So, but again, with the new building, you got a stud quarterback you've already committed to. You got to keep him happy. You got some new facilities.
Yeah.
You've already spent the money. You need a coaching staff that's not going to embarrass the players.
Yeah.
And guys, just so you know, right, like this last game, they brought in a bunch of scrubs that I didn't think were going to see the field.
Yeah.
I mean, Bassey was out there.
Yeah.
The guy that we got, Hankins
Yeah.
from the Falcons.
Yeah.
They're out there playing, right? And it's like, wow, okay, like these are guys that were not Staley dudes, know, and
and you can't expect to get a guy that just got cut from a team to be the next superstar.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, and that's goes back to the GM too, goes to the ownership. It goes to the willingness to try to be able to elevate your team, make a trade, to be able to get that guy that could be that dude that really elevates your team. I mean, I do think that there's just a lot of guys on this player that are really good, but they're possibly not leaders too.
Yep.
And that's nobody's saying anything and being that vocal dude to really light a fire under these guys and be that voice. It just seems like guys are just there paid and they're just doing their job. I mean, being in that stadium last night, it just felt like they were just like, hey, I'm just here to do my job.
Yeah, it was a little eerie. It felt like they were going through the motions. Really odd. Really odd.
There wasn't really any fire behind any of them. Yeah.
No excitement. It felt really dead to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, this is kind of how I feel about Williams. I love Mike. I freaking love Mike. But dude, it's just and guys, smash that like and subscribe button, please. Again, it's so I think Barnaby, the one game will be Kyle, most likely.
Yeah.
Broncos game.
Broncos.
All of us will most likely not go to another game unless something changes. But
yeah,
I think that's it for us.
Yeah.
More than likely, I'm not going to be able to make it to the Bills game, unfortunately, because of Christmas.
And then he'll probably do the Chiefs game.
Yeah, but I'm probably going to go to the Chiefs game as well.
AKA the Queefs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we go. Again, but you're right. I think he's a very nice guy.
Yeah. I think Kellen Moore, is a very, good OC, but
look at Mike McDaniels. Mike McDaniels he's not a hard ass. No, he's just a very smart offensive genius, right? So I don't know.
He always looks so cool on the sideline with some shades on too.
Yeah, and he's got those joggers.
Yeah,
where he sees his calves.
joggers, dude.
Very cool. Very European of him. Yeah,
but the whole staff is rocking them joggers though too.
It's crazy. I'm like, okay.
He's like, this is the uniform, but we're rocking joggers.
Everybody
wear joggers on this team.
Those are the Provo douche nozzles, dude. You guys don't know that joke because anyways, it's a Utah thing. Yes. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Yeah, should we just tank the season? Well, we are tanking the season without trying to tank the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, these are conversations that need to pop up at some point. But again, I just want us thinking about what the next step is for this franchise, right? I think that's kind of the conversation, because I was going to do my video on final thoughts, but I was just going to repeat what we did yesterday, which was basically we suck again.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah.
Oh no.
It's bad.
Oh no, we suck again.
Yep.
Yeah, X going to be gone. X gone. Palmer's great. Alan Palmer, QJ. We'll be fine. That's okay.
And Darius Davis.
And Darius, you got Darius Davis. Yeah. You keep Alex Erickson. You probably sign Alex Erickson really cheap. Yeah. You probably sign
maybe Guyton, but Guyton's really not looking that good.
Well, he's got another year. He's got one more year. Guyton's got one more year. So, I mean, you probably could get away with not getting another wide receiver, but I probably would still get another wide receiver. Man, I will say this though, Eckler's been slow. He's been slow. A lot of his numbers, he's running around 13 miles an hour. Guys, I'm not very athletic. Well, I am. I'm a finely tuned athletic machine. Yeah. But I'm not that fast. So 13 miles an hour is about as far as I can go.
Yeah, and I didn't feel like he was really like playing high speed last night either.
No. So he looks slow, guys.
And once again, it's just like that energy we were talking about. It felt like just a lot of people didn't really care. It just seemed very low energy. It didn't seem like anybody really like tried. And so it's like, I don't know if everybody's at this point. We're like, why do we need to try? I'm just going to just try to get out the season healthy at this point.
Yep.
Yeah. This is okay. So this is another good thought, right? Firing Staley would at least make the team, okay, who's going to step up and have a good attitude, right?
Right.
There comes a point where you have to make a decision on who's actually a dog and who's not, right? Who's actually going to be
that dude. Yeah. That guy steps up.
But then again, if you fire like Telesco and everybody else, that's another conversation. It's just, personally, I think I think if you fire everybody, you should fire everybody. Yeah. Wipe the slate clean, interim people, and then go from there.
Yeah. And at this point too, like it's kind of like you're driving a car, you get a flat tire, you get the flat tire, and you're like, oh crap, I got to drive to the tire store, right?
Yeah.
And the tire just keeps going and just going, and the next thing you're riding the rim, next thing sparking, next thing your car's on fire, you're dead. So like it's kind of like we're letting that tire be flat and we're letting that rim get jacked up. It's going to a bad place at this point, and you're not getting any better at this point. Like realistically, I think that if the Chargers were going to make a choice of a different head coach and let go of Staley, let's say we lose to the Patriots next week.
Oh man,
that's it. That's it. That's it.
Bro. If we lose to the Patriots next week,
that's it.
We are going to be the laughing stock of the NFL, dude. Like, and like, poor Herbert, guys. Poor Herbert.
Yeah, Herbert,
dude. Like,
is doing what he needs to do.
Oh my god, guys! Remember this. Last year, Herbert was throwing the ball to what? Like all practice squad guys. Mike Bandy. Who was our punt returner? Why am I drawing a blank on his name? He's on the Raiders now.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, he was like our leading receiver one game, and I'm like, my God, sign me up. Of course I'm slow as hell, but that's fine. Whatever. I can still catch a ball.
If you can catch that ball, that's all you need, man.
Better than QJ.
Yeah.
And again, I think you're right. And I think that's the one thing that's nice about him. But again, the argument also is if you're the head coach, you shouldn't be doing the offensive play calling as well, or the defensive play calling as well. I personally would think it would be better, even for like Brandon Staley, to let Derek Ainsley call. He gets a little too focused.
That's right. DeAndre Carter. That was
DeAndre Carter. That's right.
DeAndre Carter. There we go. Thank you.
But the one thing that I'm going to emphasize too is that a lot of these OCs that are pretty good, being a head coach is a different world, and you kind of don't want to put too much on your shoulders at that point. You want to kind of give people a little bit more opportunity to run a defense. Unlike Staley, he's like, nope, it's my defense, and I'm not going to let anybody touch it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes simplifying it for yourself could allow you to be a better coach, and trust other people doing their jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much we can discuss on this too. And again, Michael Davis is booty. Michael Davis is booty or has a booty. Just joking.
Yeah. He's not having a good year.
Well, but again, I've always said this, right? The system is important, right? Yeah. This team is better in press and more blitzing.
Yep.
The blitzes are just unimaginative right now, guys. And it's like, okay, what's the point? Okay, Eddie, I like this. We need a cornerback, tight end, running back, edge, wide receiver. Yep.
You better add a center to that. You better use a high level pick on a center.
Yep.
If you could get the number 1 center, I would probably do that as a first round pick, in my opinion. You're going to need to have a center. Corey Lindsey's not coming back. There's no way.
No, he's done.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
And again, is Will Clapp the future? Probably not. Now, again, we also have that guy that we got from Clemson,
Jordan McFadden.
McFadden, I think he can play. Actually,
he rotated a little bit into training camp as center.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, that guy's a beastly looking dude.
Yeah, he is.
Like, the thing about it is like, I don't know what Jordan McFadden is when he's like on the O-line. Is he a nastier kind of player that could just toss people around, whatnot, get some great push, be violent at the line? That's, to be honest, like, if I was a GM, I want violence from my players. A violent D-line and a violent O-line.
Nasty.
Just like the Lions, dude. They play with a lot of tenacity.
We want the nasty boys. Dude.
Nasty
I
boys.
want someone just to be
Nasty
pancaking
boys.
them all day long.
Pancakes, baby.
Pancakes.
No short stacks, dude.
No short stacks.
Nope.
Extra syrup and extra butter, dude. That's right. You got syrup. Dude.
Oh man.
Again, we spend a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
And again, you're right. I don't know if he's ready either, but the question is, how would the team respond? That's the question.
Yep.
It's more of a discussion around what does it matter.
Yep.
And again, the season is over. In my opinion, it is. I think it's partially why we're having this conversation, because it really is, guys. I mean, like,
it's still possible for us to make the
Possible.
playoffs, but it's probably improbable.
yeah, and
Probably improbable.
Yes, that's right.
yeah. And by the way, Chris, he is changing the offense for the NFL.
Yeah.
He is being extremely inventive. And again, going back to Brandon Staley, his biggest problem has been that has been unable to look at himself in the mirror and humble himself enough to say, let's try something different.
Yep.
Funny thing is, he actually did it against the Ravens, and we actually played very well.
Yep.
Interesting conversation that he said was, oh, yeah, well, somebody asked him, was it our best defensive performance? He says, no, because we lost.
Because we lost.
But my point is, we played how we should have played all season, in my opinion, right? So, and again, he's given his history with alcohol. Yep, it's good for him. Good for him.
Now, Mike McDaniels is a guy that, I mean, is very charismatic too. Super sarcastic dude, and I think the players love playing for that dude.
Yep,
they love playing, and he plays to the players' strengths too.
Yep.
You know, he utilizes a lot of speed. He uses them correctly.
I never understood why these head coaches walk around with this much ego and just not adjust. It makes no sense to me. Yes. And by the way, the funny thing about this offensive line, didn't have to be the best offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, he had arguably one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL his rookie season, and he still did very well because he's very good at moving around in the pocket.
Yep.
But I think what frustrates me the most is we needed to be mid-tier at best defensively, and we would easily be in the playoff. 100%
That's all it is.
conversation.
Right.
And we are like trash. It's so bad. It's like, oh my God, it's so frustrating.
Yep.
Interesting to see Dotson. I don't even think he suited up last week. We've only had 2 running backs suit up, I think, for the past 2 weeks.
He hasn't suited up in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I don't think it's since what? It's been a number of weeks.
It's been a long time. I feel like it's not even been a conversation at all. I don't know where it's going.
Sign us up, dude. Hey, man.
Dude. Let's go. Man.
Let's go for it. Eckler's, and Eckler, and Eckler's clearly cares about his money, man, and his bags. And you know what? He's seeing his money go away because he's having a shit season.
Yeah.
Who knows what's gonna? Dude, he's 30 years old, running back. Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
Yep. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, Spiller. Still curious to what's going on with that guy, dude. I just don't even get it. There's a lot to discuss, man. A lot to discuss. Yeah, Gerard Clark, interesting. See what happens there.
Yeah.
And I think we are the lapping stock of the NFL, folks. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we are? I think we are.
I mean, and that thing about it is every year the Chargers have this very big hype. Off season is like, man, Chargers are that team. Chargers are that team. And then it's like, but they always say, but asterisk, we know what they do. And like until they prove us wrong, they're going to do what they do. And like that's generally Charger. Like they're just going to Charger. And like that's the unfortunate thing. Like we're a team that looks great. Paper team. We're one of the best. And then we just never find a way to make it happen.
I think it boils down to, one of the things I've always respected about Bill Belichick is in the way he builds teams through the draft. always trades back, but he always has a lot of young players, uses them on the rookie contract, bring a couple of veterans in, and then just rotate through people. He plays a lot of money ball, right? A lot like the A's, in baseball. You don't get those home run hitters, but you get lots of doubles, singles, some triples, and whatever. And that's fine. It's good enough because it's a team sport. That makes sense. And by the way, Ricky, hilarious conversation around that. As I actually, on Brandon Staley's YouTube video, I said, Bull Pros, first question, are you going to call the defense against the Patriots? So I thought that was pretty hilarious. If we were in the room, I would have asked the question because I'm a smart ass like that.
There you go. Let's see if we can get. I'll see if I can get Brandon Staley on our show and let's ask him directly. He'll probably hang up immediately.
Oh yes, exactly.
Yeah.
If we make it to 500, I'd be pretty happy. Now, what would suck on that is that, boy, would they keep Staley another year? I hope to God not, but it is what it is.
I mean, what are the real expectations for next year? I mean, I don't even know. Like at this point, I don't know. And to be honest, it's going to be who's running the show. Like in that point, like I have no idea. I mean, we're still 6 games left of this season. Who knows? I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable, man. Yeah, I really don't think they're going to. But again, what happened? I think next week is going to be huge. Yeah. Let's say we lose. Let's just say we lose at all. I think then you've got to fire you. Like you have to. Yeah. You have to. Losing 27-0 to the playoffs the way we did, horrible. And it's just been a horrible season. So sorry, dude.
Well, I'll say this. Like the fact that we haven't fired Brandon Staley right now tells me 2 things. Number one, it's that the Spanos family does not pay attention to everything that's going on and like the whole what everyone's saying about everything.
Yeah.
And so they don't care. Or the number 2 thing is that they just have a whole plan in their head about how things are going to go, and they're just sticking to it no matter what. Anyway, so they're just a very stubborn family. That they're just like whatever, They really but the bottom line is still the same conclusion. They just don't care. That's a simple fact.
Yeah, and they're just going through the motions. The whole point of the conversation. Now, again, training camp. The facility is going to look pretty amazing, guys. This is kind of why we're saying, hey, this would be a nice reset conversation. I just think that's it. And you're right. They just don't care. And that's what scares me, guys, right? If I'm an owner of a sports organization, I want them to be straight up dogs. I don't give a shit, dude.
Right.
That's what I respect at least about, Mike Davis.
Yeah.
Hate his haircut. What in the hell is that, by the way?
He's taken swings, and sometimes he's missing. And he's missing a lot. But he's still taking swings, right? He's still taking swings.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is like these NFL owners got a lot of money from a lot of different directions being an owner. They own 96% of a multiple billion-dollar base franchise. You get so much money from TV alone to be able to pay for a salary. That's funny money, essentially, at that point for them, for a good head coach and great coaching staff. Use that money a little bit, guys, instead of padding your pockets.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because you're padding your pockets at this time. You got a multiple billion-dollar base franchise. You're fine. You're fine.
There's a quote that goes around. Like, I do have some Raiders fans that talk shite to me, like on Instagram sometimes. They send me a clip of John Madden back in his days, where the interviewer was asking him, was like, "Hey, yeah, so the Raiders are playing really dirty, like, so." Like, I don't know, like, nobody really likes it. And they're like, yeah, we do play dirty. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
That's what we need for our team, though, Yeah.
You need somebody to just be that nasty dude. Nasty boys. Can we finally get a Charger team and make a shirt that said Nasty Boys?
The Nasty Boys.
And it's got like all the nasty players on our team.
The Nasty Bolts.
Nasty Bolts, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, again, I don't know. Good question. Is he worse than Mike McCoy? I think he's been a bigger charlatan for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he's gotten more wins than Mike McCoy in a sense.
I think people just got to his head, dude. Yeah. He was hired on as this big defensive guru, and I just kind of felt like he just got ahead of himself, right? And I've always hated those people that walk into a room and just act like they're the smartest guys in the room all the time. Mm-hmm. I hate know-it-alls, man. I mean, honestly, I'm humble enough to know that I'm not the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, we all know that.
I was like, wait a minute. Is this the first time I've ever heard you say that, bro?
Wait a minute, dude.
I don't even. Hey, I don't.
No, we
even,
know that for
I don't
sure.
Even, I don't even.
I've been living with this knucklehead all my life.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Boy, it's
Hey,
getting.
that was set up.
We're gonna turn the camera off. Hey, they're gonna both have black eyes. They both have black eyes. That's right.
Why do you think I got my shades on?
That's right.
Oh,
That's right. Hey, you're in an abusive relationship.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Oh, you set that one up good, bro.
Hey,
yeah.
apparently I did. Apparently I
Oh
did.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And I have seen that. Yes, I have.
So, question for Andrew and James: have you seen the YouTube video on the Art of Choke story of the Cursed Charges franchise? 64 minutes of heartbreak on torture.
They keep asking me to go see that on my Wednesday night shows, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to watch something that depressing.
So,
so it's interesting. Yeah.
I have a VHS of I think the 50-year anniversary of the Chargers and their whole history of their team. And you know, it's like I love watching it, but then I also it's like anticlimactic every single season. Like, oh, great team, did this, did that, went to a playoff game, on to the next season. Like they don't even talk about like the outcome because the outcome is always like bad and like something goes wrong, something is awry. I don't know if it's like Al Davis cursed us when he initially was a part of the Charger ownership back in like the 60s. Yep. And then he went and did the Raiders or whatnot, and he got all bitter or something. I don't know what happened, dude, but something just has not been very good. I mean, we did obviously win an AFL like championship.
Yeah, we did.
We did. I mean, does that count? Yeah, it's a championship in football, but at the same time, it's not an NFL championship. And so it's like, for whatever reason, we just cannot find a way to be able to get past that curse. And we just always find ways to fumble it out and fumble a season that should have been good.
Yeah. So this is good. I thought it was pretty funny. Bolt Bros about to toss some bolt blows. So let's talk a little about Derwin James again. Look, Derwin James. Again, I love Derwin, but again, it goes back to coaching, in my opinion. Right? Remember how Brandon Staley's constantly said, "Oh, he can play star. He can play money. He can play everywhere." That's where I think Brandon Staley's doing a disservice to Derwin James. He is wearing too many hats. Yeah. So he's all over the field. And there comes a point where you have to simplify somebody's role, right?
Right.
We just saw our niece at a water polo match, right? You know, JV, high school. It was just mass chaos. Like there was no organization. It was ridiculous. And I got, this looks like Brandon Staley's defense.
Yeah.
And I mean, like literally, I'm like, what am I looking at here? This is just
pattern match zone.
This is pattern match zone. I kept thinking about Derwin James and the fact that he wears so many hats, and Brandon Staley's consistently put him on a pedestal, and that's fine.
Yeah.
He is by far one of the most talented people on the field, but he's wearing too many hats, right?
Way too much.
So this is why I've always said, you're struggling, get back to some simplicity. So I can't remember whose comment this was. You made me think about that. Oh, here we go. Ryan, I had it up there. I lost it there for a second. And Ryan, did you play? I'm sure you played football quite often too. So throw some more comments out as well, please. We definitely want to hear your thoughts on this. But again, the whole Derwin conversation is, again, you're right. The whole pattern match zone is overcomplicating things.
Yep.
Guys, there is mask. If you watch Ryan, Rex Ryan's 1 minute breakdown, I'm going to do a video on fixing this defense. This defense had zero identity. Again, we played great against the Ravens because I think it was more press man, a little more man coverage, a little more physical. I mean, if you're playing man, I'm looking at one person. Great. I have one guy I have to focus on. Pretty focused.
Yep. Stay with him. Stay with him.
And again, Ryan, I don't disagree with you. I think you're actually right.
Agreed.
But he's being utilized incorrectly. So would you agree with that, or do you agree with that?
Right.
Or do you not agree with that? And why?
Yeah, we've talked about that for a long time. Is that like, when he's not on the field, under Brandon Staley's supervision,
it tends to be a little bit better.
100%.
We tend to have a better defense.
Yeah.
Because we don't have one guy who's all over the field.
100%. By the way, and I think get it together. I think the Chargers did play more like the Ravens defense against the Ravens. They played a little bit closer to the line, and I've always said we just keep giving way too much cushion, man. It's just tackling's been bad. Good Lord, dude. We need to give the Charger players the blue chews before the game, at halftime. and we win. We,
Playing
Hey,
like-
didn't that be-
playing like
we're
this.
like
I don't wanna
this.
get-
I want to be
we're
like,
like
this.
Well, I mean, it could intimidate them a little bit. I don't want to get tackled by this dude. Over
Hey.
here. This guy's like, this O-line looks up, dude.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Hey, is that a
Hold on.
flashlight in your pants, or are you just happy to see me?
Mhm.
Yeah, and again, he really does. I think he does.
And
Yeah.
anything to get an edge on that field, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, Frank Wright, guys, I do not want him. I think he's done, dude. People keep talking about Frank Wright. I think now we're good to go. Dude, I want to see some consistency for Justin Herbert. That's the part that scares me, guys.
Yes. Yes.
What is the easiest? We want to keep him happy, guys. Maybe this is my final thoughts also. And again, we'll throw your thoughts out. Guys, like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. We just felt like, hey, I was going to do a quick final thoughts video, but we thought maybe this would be a little bit better since we're all three here together. Let's just talk together. There's just so much to break down, guys. I just feel like I think this is a turning point, or at least a moment where this team and the Spanos family have to make a decision.
Yep.
Do they want to be competitive or do they not? Because they've already spent $500 million on this new facility. And this is a great time to remove yourself from a coach that has not made it work.
Yep.
And a GM who's been here for 10 years, new facility, new digs, some new excitement. They got to make a splash, guys. I don't know. They just have to.
Yeah. I mean, and to say to say my final thoughts, I want the ownership just to show they cared. Like they care about these fans. You know, last night at the game, you know, I had fans pregame talking to us and everything. And he's like, you know what? We're going to boo Brandon Staley. And like, we're going to boo him. If first drive, the Ravens go down and just score a touchdown immediately. There was boos in this game.
Yeah,
from the fans.
there were boos.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, as a fan base, we need to be listened to, and we need to be able to hear we need to hear what you think. And we also need to see that you care to make this team better. Once again, we're kind of, and I'm not knocking the Spanos. They're much richer than all of us here combined. But at the same side, like, are they a family that understands how to run a football franchise and not be cheap in the sense? They are showing signs of it.
Right.
But they need to be spending money where it needs to be spent.
Yeah,
and that's in a coaching staff that to be able to support this team, be able to support these players. We got a ton of talent on this team. And you have the opportunity to get that talent with some minds that actually could get this talent pushed to the right direction. And I just want to see this ownership care. That's all it really is.
Right. I mean, and the truth is too, is like, look, bottom line is, if you don't have fans, you don't have a team.
The bottom line.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Look, I mean, like we've talked about it earlier, is that, like, you know, the San Diego fans hate Spanos. And, like, you know, so if Spanos family are gone, a lot of them might actually start coming back, you know?
Yep.
And that's just a big issue here. It's like that, like, look, we're already a suffering fan base. And if they're already not going to be paying attention to the fans at all anymore, like they're still not going to, it's what are they even doing?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. And guys, I'm going to do a quick video just breaking down the defense, how to fix it. It'll obviously, we're going to have Brandon Staley for another week unless something changes, which I don't think it will. But I think, you know, it would be interesting to kind of break down that video a little bit. So let me know if you guys want me to do a video like that, breaking down what I think needs to happen. I'm also going to do a breakdown of the all-22 footage. I'll work on that tomorrow. And again, leadership starts at the top, guys.
100%.
Again, it's going to be huge,
and
man.
it rolls down from there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I wish this would happen, but you know what? He's got jobs for his kids. He's providing for his kids.
It's a family business.
And that's what it is. And so
there's money in the banana stand, right?
There's always money in the banana stand. That's right, guys.
That's right.
And again, it's frustrating, but again, that's LA. But if you're not winning in LA, nobody's gonna show up, guys.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna show up. And that's the whole point, right? And again, I keep saying again. Anyways, there's a lot to discuss, guys.
I mean, as Charger fans, we see it again and again
and again
and again
and again.
and again. And it just keeps going dot. You know.
Yeah, and again, you know, we've talked so much about this. Hymus, guard, who knows? Bottom line, I think the protection's just bad. I think Will Clapp's not doing things right. I think, maybe Justin Herbert can change the coverage a little bit. But there are mistakes, right? That zero blitz that went through at the very end, and Herbert got sacked, ended that entire drive. Terrible.
And that's multiple times this year that's happened too.
Yeah.
Like late drives.
Yep.
Trying to find a way to be able to win the game, tie the game, whatever it might be. Same outcome.
At least we have each other.
Yeah, dude. And
honestly,
to be honest,
that is the truth, though.
100%, Ricky.
Because look, like the tailgate never loses. Like that is literally the best thing about the Chargers fan base, like by far. Like it's that our tailgate is undefeated, man.
Dude, Super Bowl level tailgates.
Yes.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, there's just a lot to be said, guys. There's a ton. I mean, there's just so much that can be said. Again, this is probably a bit preemptive, but we figured at the end of the day, with a mathematical chance still left, it's at least a conversation I think is very relevant to the fan base. But again, I think it starts from the top. I think it's a good time to get a reset, guys. We're getting a nice big facility. Again, this is what we're going to be getting here pretty shortly, folks. And might not be a bad time to, see some change.
Yeah.
New house, new thoughts, new ideas.
Yep.
And guys, it's a good point, and again, we should be throwing the ball more to Everett. There's so much we can discuss on this, guys. So, well, guys, we appreciate you jumping on, guys. We really do. It's frustrating. We're here to support you guys. But again, we just wanted one last time for the three Bromigos together. Well, actually, I guess we will be during Christmas.
Yeah, we'll be around for
Christmas, but that's going to be in a few weeks. So, we'll go from there.
This is an extended therapy session.
Session.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of doing the final thoughts, let's just talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about our feelings, guys. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. Use your words.
100%.
Use your words. Okay, guys.
Yep.
We're in the trust tree with the nest and the squirrel, right? Say what you want to say. Yeah, you know what movie that's from. It's from Old School, guys. Great movie. One of the best movies ever made.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. All right, guys. Bowl Bros.
Let's go.
Woo-wee.
Okay.
I don't think you've ended it.